Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Leadership Park here at the Goodman campus of Lehigh University for some non-conference NCAA Division I softball between the Seton Hall Pirates and the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. We're excited to have you join us on this production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. My name is Eddie Fior, and with 2 games today between these teams and 1 game tomorrow, it should be a great weekend for softball. First pitch coming in just under 7 minutes. Temperature today at Leadership Park is around 55 degrees. It should stay at that mark for most of this series. There is also a slight chance of rain in today's game. Showers moving into the south and around 10-mile-per-hour winds moving down the left field side. So a lot of potential for a bit of disturbance in the weather. It's a bit cold for this time of year, so we'll see what happens in this early April matchup of softball. Seton Hall is coming into this game coming off of a 2-game midweek matchup against Rider, where they picked up wins in both. And that first game between Seton Hall and Rider was especially fascinating because of the circumstances. Let's take you back to this past Wednesday, where Rider was up 10-0 in the 5th inning and almost ended the game via run rule. And then Seton Hall stepped in. 5 runs in the 5th, 4 runs in the 6th, and then trailing 10-9, the Pirates had the walk-off double in the 7th inning, which gave them the win over Rider. They entered this game 22-11 overall, and 9-3 in Big East play. 2 of their Big East losses are to UConn, and 1 is to Stony Brook. And then for Lehigh, they had a 10-game win streak broken up this week in a non-conference matchup on the road against Princeton. One interesting thing to note about Lehigh and Princeton is that Princeton's head coach, Lisa Van Akkeren, was a key part of some of the most dominant teams in Lehigh softball history. She pitched here throughout the later stage of the 2000s. The Mountain Hawks fell 10-4 to the Tigers. We're going to take a quick break for a minute as the managers come out to meet and discuss rules. We're going to have starting lineups and the national anthem coming up next. We have NCAA Division I softball here as part of a production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. So we're back here for, as the starting lineups are being called for both of these teams. It's Eddie Field here, joined by Caden Benedetto, and we have an interesting game. Seton Hall had a 10-run comeback in their midweek game against Rider, and then Lehigh is coming off of a loss. So these are two teams, both have 20 wins already on the season. Seton Hall 22-11, Lehigh 27-7. So you have two really good teams kind of coming off of different momentum swings throughout the course of this week.
Yeah, that's true. We need to look at these two teams here, and both of their energy here to this game is really going to be important for them and see if they can win.
The head coach of the Pirates in her second season is Angie Churchill. Assistant coaches
and let's take you through the starters for Seton Hill. Running through their batting lineup, it's going to be Ashley Colanetto, the second baseman, batting leadoff. Taylor Hill will be batting second. Leela Allen's going to be batting third. And then the pitcher, Kelsey Carr, in the batting lineup. She's batting .257 on the season. She is batting fourth. Abby Wingo in center field has been the star of the Seton Hall team. She hit the walk-off double against Rider, and she's going to be batting fifth. And then batting sixth for Seton Hall is going to be Olivia Gilbert. At seventh, it's going to be the designated player, Shelby Smith. At eighth is going to be Andrea Perez. And then at ninth, it's going to be Hannah Alexander, who will be sitting behind the plate as catcher. And Marissa Pla will be in left field. She will not be in the batting lineup for Seton Hall. And then the starting lineup for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks in the field. Let's start behind the plate with Sydney Parlett. The first year is going to be playing catcher. And then on the mound, it's the junior out of Sagertown, Pennsylvania, number 11, Caitlin Young, who has been having a great year so far, 15-3 with a 1.71 ERA. And then infield is going to be Schmeiser, Boryak-Tarvich, Owens Dudley. Outfield for the Mountain Hawks, Josie Charles, Brooke Cannon, Emily Semino. And we'll be back for a second after the national anthem.
NCAA and Lehigh promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions.
Heading back to last weekend for Lehigh, they took the sweep against Bucknell. Was the second series that they've had in the Patriot League. The first series that they've had at home, they had the away sweep to open conference play back against Lafayette. And while Lehigh's been able to take wins in all 6 of these games, many of them have been hard fought. They have been nothing of the nature of blowouts or games that Lehigh has kind of cruised away with. Every game that they've played, for the most part, in conference play has been close. Some great weather for softball today. Just a bit of a brisk breeze. Would you say, Caden?
Oh, I certainly would. It's very nice out here, especially beautiful at Goodman campus.
Warming up now is Caitlin Young. Her last appearance was in relief against Princeton. She had 2 earned runs in 1.2 innings. Her last start was on April 2nd against Bucknell, where she went the complete game, only gave up 1 run. And leading off for Seton Hall It's going to be number 1, Ashley Colanetta, playing in second base this afternoon. She has reached base 39 times this season, and 37 of those have been on either singles or walks. As Colanetta fouls the first one to the left field side, moving over to try to reach as Baryak-Tarvich, won't be able to. It's going to be strike 1 against Colanetta. So far this season, Ashley Colanetta has appeared in 33 games for Seton Hall, as she grounds this one over to Owens, and from second base, Lily Owens will get the first put out of the afternoon for the Mountain Hawks, so it'll be 1 away. Taylor Hill next to the plate for the Pirates. She has third on the team in home runs so far this season with 5. 1 away, first pitch from Young. Will be in there for a strike. Young kicks and deals the 0-1. Down and away, it's going to level the count. The 1-1 fouled behind. A favorable count to the pitcher, Young, against a sophomore from Little Falls, New Jersey, Taylor Hill. The third baseman, Schmeiser, playing in. 1-2. Fouled way off to the left field side. That one bouncing almost all the way to the soccer field. Here at the Ulrich Sports Complex, all the Lehigh sports fields all lined up in one. The 1-2 offering is going to be grounded down the first base line. Dudley is there to retire Taylor Hill. It's going to be 2 away.
Third base, number 6, Leela Allen.
Leela Allen is next for Seton Hall, now with 2 outs. Two quick outs for Caitlin Young as the first pitch is going to land just off the plate to the outside for ball 1. When you're facing a pitcher like Caitlin Young, 1.7 ERA, Caden, you have to take every chance that you get.
Yeah, certainly. Hawks.
And I'm just interrupting you. Grounded again to Dudley on the 1-0. Now we'll retire to side. Caitlin Young retires the side in order. Middle of the first, no hits, no runs for Seton Hall. The Mountain Hawks coming to the plate. So back to you, Caden. What kind of is the strategy when you're facing a very dominant pitcher?
Well, the strategy is mostly just to stay focused and really call those pitches as best you can and make sure you hit right in the zone whenever you can.
We're in the middle of the first inning. Seton Hall moving out into the field. On the mound for the Pirates, it's going to be Kelsey Carr, who has a 7-3 record in just over 71 innings of work. She has a 1.48 ERA, and her last appearance was a 3 innings pitch save against St. John's on the 2nd. Her last start was on March 31st. She went 7 innings against St. John's once again and did not allow an earned run.
Wow, very impressive.
2 great pitchers on the mound this afternoon. It's a great day for softball in Bethlehem, and you know, everyone seems to have a smile on their face in the ballpark. And I saw Lehigh's head coach Fran Troyan just kind of walking around, and he was just waving to fans, saying hi, thank you for coming out. That's kind of the mentality you get with Lehigh softball coach Fran Troyan, because he's just always a happy, bouncy guy.
And that's certainly what you want in a coach too. Keeps the players happy and well-mannered.
Leading off for the Mountain Hawks is going to be Carly Baryak-Tarvich. The fifth-year senior has 11 hits in her past 6 games. She has reached base at nearly 42% of the time she has reached the plate so far this year. The first pitch from Carr is going to be popped into left, and to retire Baryak-Tarvich is going to be Pla. It's 1 away.
Second base, number 13.
Sounded like a nice clean hit there, but unfortunately the outfielder was able to catch it.
Lily Owens next in the batter's box for Lehigh. Bottom of the first, 1 away for the Mountain Hawks, and this hit off of Owens' foot foul. 0-1. No score so far, no hits. Lily Owens, the first year out of Chino Hills, California, second-generation college softball infielder. Her mom played college softball at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. 1-1 to count after the foul, and now the pitch outside from Carr. The level count dealing from Carr is going to clip just a bit low. 2-1 to the Lehigh second baseman. The 2-1 offering is going to be fouled back over to press box. 2-2 count. Owens so far on the season has 11 extra base hits, including 6 home runs. The 2-2 from Kelsey Carr outside. Good play by Alexander to get on her feet and block that one from getting into the backstop. One away. Scoreless game. The payoff pitch is going to be fouled back. Lily Owens staying alive here. The 7th pitch of the at-bat for the first-year infielder. Carr kicks and deals. Down the left field line is Owens. It will land foul.
Fortunate it was foul. That was a clean hit. Almost looked like it could have been a home run.
I'm betting Seton Hall is happy with this 10-mile-an-hour wind heading down the left field line. Might have carried that one just into safety for the Pirates. Pitch 8 of the at-bat from Carr. It's going to be grounded to shortstop. The play will involve Perez diving over to try to reach it. The throw will not be in time. It will be the first hit of the afternoon for Lily Owens. She'll be in with a single.
Number 6, Emily Semino.
To the plate next for Lehigh will be Emily Semino. First pitch in for a strike from Carr. The outfielder from the state of New Jersey, Semino, batting .345 on the year as the second pitch high and outside. Scoreless game, bottom of the first, 1 away. Lily Owens is on first for the Mountain Hawks. And fouled into the netting on the left field side from Semino, 1-2 count. One and two. Owens has 12 stolen bases on the year. Watch her on first. The 1-2 dealing from Carr. Owens looks as if she's going to take off. It's fouled back behind from Semino. She'll retreat. The 1-2 from Kelsey Carr is fouled again left field over the netting. The Mountain Hawks outfield batting 3-4-5 in the order today. 1-2 is going to be grounded in between the first and second baseman. Heading into third is Owens, and she is safe. It's a single that advances a runner into scoring position for Emily Semino. And with one away, Lehigh has runners on the corners.
Now that's certainly a great start for the Mountain Hawks there. And Owens sure was fast there getting all the way to third base.
A mound meeting for Seton Hall as Brooke Cannon steps into the batter's box. She's batting .257 on the season with 14 RBIs. And it's going to be in a prime position to drive Lily Owens home, who's currently standing on third base. 2 hits in the bottom of the first for the Mountain Hawks. Scoreless game, runners on the corners. And the opening pitch from Carr is outside for ball 1. Kelsey Carr did not play in 2022. One and 0 to Cannon. Low. It's a 2-0 count to the junior center fielder. He's going to clip the inside the zone, called ball. It's an Alpha 3-0 count. In a base open, we'll see how Carr chooses to operate the 3-0. Inside, the take from Cannon, it's going to be strike 1. The 3-1 is going to be grounded up the left field side, just barely bounces foul. Carr has battled back to a full count. She's thrown 20 pitches so far in this first inning. Full count, scoreless game, runners on the corners for Lehigh, 1 away. And down low, Cannon will take it for ball 4. And the bases are jammed for Josie Charles.
Josie Charles.
Bases loaded, 1 away. As the first pitch is outside, Charles batting .333 on the season with the bases jammed. She has a team-leading 48 hits, batting .444. Has reached base in 46% of her plate appearances. 1-0. Check swing from Charles. It won't matter as it lands in for a strike. One lands outside. Count in favor of the senior outfielder from the state of Washington. And outside again. Now a 3-1 count to Josie Charles. Brooke Cannon on first, Emily Semino on second, Lily Owens on third for Lehigh. Scoreless game, bottom of the first. And Charles will take her base. Owens will cross home. It will be the first run for Lehigh on a walk.
That's probably not what Seton Hall wants to see here today at this game, but Mount Hawks will take what they get.
Yeah, it's still a long afternoon. We have 2 games today at Leadership Park. Another mound visit for the Pirates. One away, bases still loaded for Lehigh. It's going to be Rory Dudley,
Number 10, Rory Dudley,
coming to the plate next. Lehigh with a 1-0 lead with 1 away. First pitch from Carr is going to land outside. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into this production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. If you're wondering how we got here, it began with a single from Lily Owens. And Lehigh have managed to get 3 more runners on base as the ball is popped way high in the air. And trying to get it is Alexander. It bounces out of her glove and back in. For the second out, all runners will stay put.
catcher, number 4, Sydney Marlett.
I'm sure everyone in this ballpark, including Hannah Alexander, didn't know if that ball was going to even stay in play.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't sure about that.
So we're at 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Lehigh leads 1-0. The bases are jammed. And at the plate is the catcher, Sydney Parlett. Pitch for Parlett is missed for a ball. Parlett swings and misses at the second, dealing from Carr. It's a 1-1 count. Parlett, the first year from the state of Maryland, has split duties behind the plate with Amanda Graney throughout the course of the season. 1-1 from Carr is going to be popped into center. Moving back is going to be Wingo, who makes the catch and puts it away, limiting the damage to 1 run. We are at the end of the first inning. Lehigh with a 1-0 lead over Seton Hall. You were listening to NCAA Softball here as part of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club.
And training gear, visit UA.com today to see Under Armour's
And we're back and getting ready for the top of the second inning. Lehigh retired all 3 of the batters in order for Seton Hall on groundouts to the right field side, staying in the infield in the first inning.
leading off for Seton Hall, pitcher number 4.
And now coming to the plate to lead off the top of the second is going to be Kelsey Carr, the pitcher, who gave up a run in the bottom of the first. That's how we got our 1-0 score, as the first pitch from Caitlin Young will land outside.
Giving up a run like that certainly isn't what Seton Hall wants, but let's see if they can get any here.
1-0 from Young will land in for a strike. And talking to Fran Troyan throughout the week about what Caitlin Young provides to the Lehigh pitching staff, he said that Caitlin Young has ascended from being just a pitcher to also being a teacher to this young pitching staff, as the 1-1 is fouled down the left field line. But what Fran Troyan was trying to get across is, if you look at the rest of this Lehigh pitching staff, a lot of first years, a lot of inexperienced players. Caitlin Young was the number 2 option behind Gabriella Nori whenever Lehigh won the Patriot League title last season. And now she's the number 1, so now she's their top pitcher, and she's taken that role to mentor everyone else. 1-2 is going to be popped into right field. It's going to land over the head of Samino, and Carr is going to head into second with a double. It's the first hit for Seton Hall. It's the first extra base hit of the afternoon. Well, how about that from Kelsey Carr? You go out there on the mound, you give up a run, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, certainly. I'm sure she really wanted to get her team up and going with spirit and energy to get somewhere here in the games today.
A pinch runner for Seton Hall, it will be Miranda Arruda.
Miranda Arruda. Now batting center fielder number 19, Abby Wingo.
The senior from the state of Connecticut, and now a senior from the state of Oregon, Abby Wingo, is going to attempt a bunt on the first pitch. It will land behind, foul. I mean, what can you say about Abby Wingo so far for Seton Hall? A .379 batting average as the pitch lands behind. Parlett taking off her third base and landing in safely. It's going to be Carr. So now a runner on first. Seton Hall's best batter at the plate. And a 2-0 count. This could be a great chance for Seton Hall to tie up this game.
Yeah, it certainly is. With their best batter up, they got a good chance here. Mount Hawks really have to watch her throughout these games.
So 2-0 to second pitch, being a pass ball as Wingo fouls this one to the right side. 2-1. Hitting .379 on the year, as the 2-1 offering from Young lands outside the zone, just a bit upstairs for ball 3. So the 3-1 count to the senior from Portland. The pitch from Young is going to be popped deep into center. Racing back to the wall is Cannon. She'll make the catch. But coming around to score is Arruda. And on the sacrifice fly to deep center field,
First base, number 13, Olivia Gilbert.
the game is now tied. And Cannon had to retreat all the way back to the wall to make that catch.
Yeah, that sure was a close one.
Olivia Gilbert, the first baseman, is the next batter for Seton Hall. There's one away in the top of the second inning. The score tied at 1. The first pitch, a strike from Caitlin Young. And now here's the 0-1. It's going to be grounded right to Young. She will flip it over to Dudley and get out number 2 for the top of the first inning, still tied at 1.
Designated player, number 23, Shelby Smith.
And Shelby Smith, the designated player is going to be the next batter for the Pirates, 2 away. Ball 1. A bit high from Young. And here's the 1-0. Smith will ground this one through the infield. It's going to pass right past the glove of Barjektarevic, and she'll be in with a single. It'll be the second hit of the inning for Seton Hall.
Shortstop, number 11, Andrea Perez.
We'll give them a runner with 2 away. Andrea Perez is the next batter to the plate for Seton Hall. Perez grounded to Barjektarevic. She will just step on second. And the first pitch of the at-bat will result in the third out of the inning. Seton Hall ties it up on the sacrifice fly. It's 1-1 in the middle of the second. Lehigh coming to bat in the bottom. Bottom of the second inning, Lindsey Martin, the designated player for the Mountain Hawks, will be the first batter to the plate. Carr back on the mound. She threw 31 pitches in the first inning. 17 of them were strikes.
Number 7, Lindsey Martin.
All 3 of the outs that Carr produced have been flyouts, which has been pretty much the opposite of the story for Caitlin Young, who's produced 6 outs in the field, with 5 of them being groundouts. Here's the first dealing to Martin. It will land low for ball number 1. If you look off distant into center field at the Goodman Track and Field Complex, the Lehigh Games being hosted by the Lehigh track team this weekend. It's their first home meet of the spring. Second pitch from Carr, low in the dirt.
And I believe for the Lehigh Games, today's the first day of 2, and today will mostly be field events.
2-0 is going to land just a bit inside, called ball. Martin, the sophomore, 1-2 Mountain Hawks from California, as she will take her base on 4 straight balls.
Third base, number 20.
It's the third walk of the afternoon for Kelsey Carr. Maddie Schmeiser, the third baseman, coming up next. The sophomore has taken a much greater role in this Lehigh Mountain Hawks lineup so far compared to her freshman year. Schmeiser lays down the bunt. It's going to go backwards, however, for a foul ball. "1-1 is the score. Runner on first for Lehigh, nobody out. Lindsey Martin is the runner on first. She has not stolen a base so far this year. And here's the 0-1. Schmeiser lays it down again for the bunt attempt, and unsuccessful in the exact same way, bouncing behind the plate. 0-2, nobody away. Lehigh at the bottom of their order. Outside, and for ball 1 to the sophomore infielder. Here's the 1-2 from Carr. It is grounded up the right field line, will bounce foul. The Mountain Hawks have recorded 2 hits so far this afternoon. They left the bases loaded in the first. The 1-2 is going to be just a bit outside. However, a check swing will be ruled that Schmeiser went around, and it will retire her for the first out at the bottom of the second.
Carly Baryak-Tarvich.
So it looked like from here she might have held up. However, first base umpire has a much better view than I do from up in the press box. Ruled that Schmeiser went around. There's one away, runner on first, tie game. Carly Baryak-Tarvich will lay down a bunt in fair territory. She will race towards first. Baryak-Tarvich beats it out, and Lehigh has runners on first and second now.
That was certainly an interesting play there, utilizing the bunt, but sure got her straight on to first base.
Man, isn't it fun to watch Carly Baryak-Tarvich? It's always maybe an infield single or a bunt, and she doesn't really air it out whenever she's at the plate, but she's as good of a hitter as anyone else in the Patriot League. As Kelsey Carr lands the first pitch to Lily Owens low for ball 1. Lily Owens has a hit already, a single that started the Lehigh run in the first. First and second, one away. Owens fouls this one back. Now a bit of calm after the sequence we just had.
Yeah, everyone here is excited.
1-1. Owens is going to ground it to Carr. She will choose the throw to third base and retire the lead runner. So Martin will retreat back to the dugout, and Lehigh will have runners on first and second still now with 2 outs. Emily Semino, who recorded a single as well in the first inning, will have runners on first and second with 2 away in a tie game. The first pitch from Carr is down and away for ball 1. Wind beginning to pick up, 2 away. Second pitch will be outside, bounce in and out of the glove of Alexander. She'll keep it in front of her. 2-0 count. On first for Lehigh is Owens. On second is Baryak-Tarvich. 2-0 dealing is in for strike 1. Lehigh dugout chanting Emily Semino's last name. 2-1 pitch from Carr is going to be popped above the Seton Hall dugout. It will be out of play for strike 2. The 2-2 count to Semino. Fouled back. Semino has reached base via walk 15 times this season. The Lehigh coaching staff said one of the greatest strengths is just her plate discipline, her ability to see pitches. 2-2 from Carr is going to be fouled down the left field line.
And I will say that's certainly an important aspect to have in this sport. Got to make sure where those balls are and where the strikes are. If not, it could just end poorly.
The 2-2 from Carr. It's going to be grounded to short. And a great play from the shortstop Perez to flip it into the glove of the second baseman Colanetta. It will retire to side. We're at the end of the second inning. And with 2 runners left on base for the Mountain Hawks, they do not score. We're at the end of 2. It is Seton Hall 1, Lehigh 1, NCAA non-conference softball here at Leadership Park as part of a production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. The catcher, Hannah Alexander, is at the bottom of the order for Seton Hall. She will be the first to come to the plate in the top of the third inning.
Seton Hall, catcher number 41, Hannah Alexander.
1-1 game, nobody away.
Still be anyone's game for sure.
First pitch from Young is in for a strike. If you're just tuning in and wondering how we got here, it was a deep sacrifice fly to center field that tied the game for Seton Hall. Lehigh had the first run back in the first inning as the 0-1 is going to be grounded to Baryatarvich. The quick throw over to Dudley. She retires. Alexander is the first out of the inning.
Second base, number 1, Ashley Colanetta.
So Lehigh by 2 singles from Owens and Semino, and then 2 walks after that from Cannon and Charles drove home the first run. Lehigh have stranded 5 runners on base so far, and Seton Hall is back to the top of the order. Ashley Colanetta, first pitch from Young, is in for a strike. Top of the third inning, 1 away, 1-1 is the score. Seton Hall at bat. The 0-1 from Young is going to be grounded up the first base line, right to Rory Dudley, who's just going to step on the bag and
Right
get the
fielder,
second out.
number 33, Taylor Hill.
Taylor Hill coming to the plate next for Seton Hall. She grounded out to second base back in the first inning. Caitlin Young's first pitch of the at-bat is in for a strike. 75% of the pitches that Young has thrown this afternoon so far have been strikes. The 0-1 is fouled. Back to the left field side over the Seton Hall bullpen. Now with the 0-2 count against Hill. And fouled again. This time kind of off the lower part of the bat. It went right behind home plate. And the 0-2 down in the dirt. Hill has only struck out in around 14% of her at-bats so far this season. The 1-2 from Young is going to be grounded to second. Owens with the play over to Dudley. And Lehigh will retire to side in order in the top of the third inning. Now in the middle of the inning, the Mountain Hawks coming to the plate. A tie game 1-1. You're in the first game in doubleheader at Leadership Park.
Call 888-402-LV8.
It's a tie game as Lehigh gets ready to kick off the bottom of the third with Brooke Cannon, who reached base on a walk back in the first inning in what was a rather consequential walk for the Pirates. It ended up loading the bases, where Lehigh would then eventually drive in their only run of the game so far. Mountain Hawks have left 5 runners on base so far. On the mound for Seton Hall is still going to be Kelsey Carr. She has thrown 52 in the first 2 innings. 30 of those have landed in for strikes.
Sure, Carr's up there, reaffirming her way and making sure her pitches are under control, especially with this out-of-control wind.
Yeah, the wind is certainly out of control, and it is only getting stronger. The bottom of the third kicked off from the pitch from Carr will be popped into center by Cannon. Under it is Wingo. She will retire Brooke Cannon for the first out.
Left fielder, number 5, Josie Charles.
Josie Charles, who has an RBI walk so far in this game, is going to be the next to reach the plate for Lehigh, as the first pitch is down and away. And we have 2 pitchers, Young and Carr, both entered this game with an ERA below 2 on the season, and by the looks of it, we're on track to have a pitcher's duel on our hands.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it.
The 1-0 from Carr will be lined into center, and Charles is going to run in for a stand-up double.
Of course, with a player like Charles, of course, you still got plenty of chances here for the Mountain Hawks to score.
Rory Dudley.
Charles has the RBI so far for the Mountain Hawks on the walk in the first inning, and now she has Lehigh's first extra base hit of the afternoon, as she just coasted that second ball of the at-bat right into center field, and it drops 1 away. The first pitch to Rory Dudley is low for a ball. Tied at 1 away, 1 ball. And it's going to be grounded up the third base line, pops out to glove of the third baseman. Coming home is Charles. She will score, and in at second is Dudley, and the Mountain Hawks take the lead.
What a play by the Mountain Hawks right there. That was perfect placement of the ball right there after that hit.
It took such an unlucky bounce for Leela Allen, the third baseman for Seton Hall, just popped in and out of her glove.
Yeah, that's a tough one for anyone to catch with how it hit the ground there.
Lehigh up 2-1. It's the 18th run scored by Josie Charles on the season. And Lehigh's hit leader hit the double and then came around to score. One away, Rory Dudley on second. Cindy Parlett, the catcher, is next to the plate. Lehigh with a 2-1 lead, bottom of the third inning. First pitch is low for a ball. Dudley on the second, one away. Lehigh with the 2-1 lead. And here's the 1-0 to Parlett. Rising just a bit upstairs. A 2-0 count to the first year. And the 60th pitch of the afternoon for Kelsey Carr. And she went through the windup, but didn't end up throwing it in time as called. Coming out to discuss with Carr is going to be the catcher, Alexander. A 3-0 count against Cindy Parlett, and one of the great things about Cindy Parlett is that she can really play wherever you need her to in the field, and even at catcher. So for a team to kind of enter the season like Lehigh, where the catcher depth was kind of up in the air, obviously you can't play one catcher all 50 games.
Of course.
So you need someone to kind of come in and eat up the games Greeny isn't playing, as the 3-0 offering from Carr upstairs again. She will issue her fourth walk of the afternoon. Now runners are on first and second, Parlett and Dudley. Lindsay Martin is the next at the plate for Lehigh. Runners on first and second, 2-1 lead for the Mountain Hawks, one away in the bottom of the third inning. The first pitch in for a strike. Martin will reach base on a walk in her first at-bat. She hits the blooper into right field. It's brought in by Taylor Hill. The throw into first, not in time to retire Parlett. So still runners on first and second now with 2 outs.
Third base, number 20, Maddie Schmeiser.
Maddie Schmeiser is the next batter for Lehigh. Schmeiser fouls this one off to the left.
Looks like that foul ball surprised the bystander walking on the path next to the field.
Yeah, you can get caught off guard pretty easily here. The 0-1 to Maddie Schmeiser. Misses the level to count. She struck out in her first at-bat. She is the only batter to strike out so far in this game. Runners on first and second, 2 away. And over the plate, just a bit high for 2-1. Two one to Schmeiser, and that one's going to be outside of the plate, ball 3.
Sure, Schmeiser is looking for some sweet contact here with the ball and get a clean hit.
3-1, Schmeiser fouls this one away, full count, 2 outs. She's only reached base on a walk twice so far this season in 58 at-bats. So a batter who really likes to put the ball in play. 2 outs, payoff pitch. Schmeiser to center field. Wingo's moving back. She makes the catch. And that will retire to side. Lehigh takes the lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They lead 2-1 over Seton Hall at Leadership Park. This is a production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club, and we will be back for the 4th inning. Top of the 4th inning at Leadership Park. NCAA non-conference softball. Lehigh and Seton Hall. The Mountain Hawks have a 2-1 lead over the Pirates. And the first batter at the plate for Seton Hall is going to be Leila Allen, the 3rd baseman. Lehigh took the lead on a single down the left field line that bounced in and out of Allen's glove. It allowed Josie Charles, who is in left field for the Mountain Hawks, to come around and score. That is the difference between the two teams.
Seton Hall, 3rd base, number 6, Leila Allen.
Kaylin Young still on the mound, has thrown 32 pitches in 3 innings. The first pitch is going to be popped into shallow center. Moving up is Cannon, however, it will drop. And Allen will record her first hit of the afternoon. It will be the 3rd hit for Seton Hall. And they have a runner on with nobody away.
Now running at first base for Seton
And
Hall, number 21, Lauren Kai.
Pinch runner coming in for Seton Hall.
Kelsey Carr.
It is Lauren Kai coming in for Allen. Kelsey Carr at the plate, the pitcher. So far in the year, Kai has stolen 2 bases. Sitting on first right now, the 0-1 from Young is low for a ball. So an even count, nobody away. Lehigh leads this one 2-1. The 1-1 lands just a tad bit outside. Mountain Hawks still in front in this one. A favorable count to the junior from Western Pennsylvania, Young, as this one is grounded up the 3rd base line. Schmeiser over to first will retire Carr. Advancing to 2nd is Kai. There's one away, and coming to the plate next for Seton Hall is going to be Abby Wingo, who recorded the last out in the bottom of the 3rd. 2-1 Lehigh. Top of the 4th inning, 1 away, runner on 2nd for Seton Hall. And Wingo grounds this one between the 1st and 2nd baseman. Kai holds up at 3rd base, but Wingo advances. The throw to Parlett is off. It will allow Kai to come in to score. It wasn't the initial plan for the pinch runner. Looked like she was fine holding up at 3rd base, but The throw into the plate was off from Semino. It will allow the run to score, and we have a tie game.
First base, number 13.
That was certainly exciting.
Now here's Gilbert, grounded first pitch to Baryak-Tarvich. And Lehigh shortstop will throw it over for the second out. It will strand Abby Wingo on second. Wingo with the RBI double. It's her second RBI of the afternoon. It's her 16th of the season. 2 away. The first pitch from Caitlin Young to the designated player Shelby Smith. Oh, 1 count. As Smith pops this one into center, Cannon moving to her right. Will make the catch, and that will be the last out. Middle of the 4th. Lehigh, Seton Hall now tied at 2 after the Abby Wingo single into right. Top of the order for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks in the bottom of the 4th, Carly Baryak-Tarvich. Bunted down the third base line on her last at-bat. Reach on a single. The Mountain Hawks have allowed, well, they've left at least 2 runners on base in each of the first 3 innings.
I'm sure we'll see more and even more excitement from the players here.
Shortstop, number 9, Carly Baryak-Tarvich.
Eager to break the tie here and get ahead.
Baryak-Tarvich, the 5th-year shortstop. First pitch from Carr, in for a strike. Baryak-Tarvich has, over her 5 years at Lehigh, kind of become the face of this team, the face of softball in the Lehigh Valley. And here's the 0-1 from Carr. Baryak-Tarvich fouls this one left field. It's going to be just on the play. It looks like our view's kind of obstructed down the left field side.
Yeah, can't quite see past it.
But anyways, Baryak-Tarvich, you know, there's all that talk about, you know, NIL deals and student athlete compensation. Baryak-Tarvich back in 2021 was the first player in NCAA to sign an NIL deal for a professional sports team when she signed with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Appeared in some on-field promotions for the team. Ball upstairs, 1-2 count. The starting pitchers both still in the game for both teams as the 1-2 from Carr is outside, and now the count's even. Kelsey Carr so far on the afternoon has thrown 73 pitches. She's allowed 5 hits and 2 earned runs as Baryak-Tarvich grounds it back to Carr. The throw over to the first baseman Gilbert. will retire the 5th year for the first out of the inning.
Lily Owens.
Game tied at 2 here at Leadership Park in the bottom of the 4th. Lily Owens, who has a hit so far this afternoon, is the next batter to step in the box. Owens, line the shortstop diving out. To her right was Perez, and that was a spectacular catch.
You could say that again. The whole team was ecstatic for that
Right
one.
fielder, number 6, Emily Samino.
Just full extension of Andrea Perez. And it's 2 outs now as Emily Samino steps in the box. Oh, 1 against the senior. Carr misses outside. And how would you even describe that catch?
I don't know. Certainly, an extension of herself was quite adequate there, and she knew exactly how to stretch out to get that ball.
1-1 is fouled over the Seton Hall bullpen. There is a pitcher warming up for the Pirates.
Yeah, after 70 pitches or so, you certainly would get tired.
1-2, just outside to Samino. Count is even. And a 2-2. Samino extends her bat outside the zone. Is going to foul that one, stay alive. Now pitch 6 of the at-bat, 2-2 count. And a 2-2 from Carr. Tad bit off the plate to the outside. The count's full. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th. Game tied at 2. Here's the deciding pitch to Samino. That one is fouled once again. All 3 of the fouls in this at-bat to the left field side.
Certainly seems like a pattern there.
Yeah, for the left-handed batter, Samino. As she's going to pop this one to left. And under it is Marisa Plav to retire to side. And we're at the end of the 4th, 2-2 between Lehigh and Seton Hall, shaping up to be a great game in the first game of the series. We'll be back in the top of the 5th with this production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. We've played 4 full innings at Leadership Park. The score is tied. It's 2-2 between Lehigh and Seton Hall. The wind has calmed down just a little bit on this brisk early April day. Not early autumn. We're in the wrong part of the year for that.
Yeah.
As coming to the flight for Seton Hall is going to be
number 11,
Andrea Perez, who made a spectacular catch in the fourth. First pitch in for a strike for Caitlin Young. She's up to 42 pitches so far through 4 innings. In great shape. Second pitch lands outside for ball 1. And ball 2 for the shortstop Perez, who on the season has been hitting well for the Pirates, as she is going to hit a worm burner right over second base. Lehigh won't be able to get to it. Fielded in center field by Cannon, a single for Perez, and Andrea Perez is on for the 5th hit of the afternoon for Seton Hall. Back to the catcher in the 9 spot for the Seton Hall Pirates, wearing gray away uniforms. Hannah Alexander will lay down a bunt on the first pitch. Young will field it and throw it over to Owens for out number 1. It will advance Perez to second. Ashley Colanetta, the second baseman, is at the top of the order for Seton Hall, and she will be the next person at the plate.
Second base, number 1, Ashley Colanetta.
That last play certainly seemed a little risky, and the bunt may have went out a little too early, but seen that teams are discussing.
Yeah, the first baseman, Rory Dudley, coming out to talk to Caitlin Young. Colanetta grounded out to the infield on both of her first 2 at-bats. There's one away in the top of the 5th, tied at 2. Colanetta pops this one into left on the first pitch, and moving back, looking a bit unsteady was Charles, but she makes the catch, and it's 2 outs, and more importantly, she will hold Andrea Perez up at second. So now there's 2 outs. Taylor Hill is the next batter for Seton Hall. The first pitch from Young lands just a bit off the plate. Outside for ball 1. 1-0 count to Hill. And that will miss for ball 2. 2 ground outs so far this afternoon as well for Taylor Hill. Caitlin Young so far has allowed 5 hits and 1 earned run. The second run coming on an error. As 3 pitches so far from Caitlin Young. Missing outside, missing low. Sitting with 3 balls, no strikes. And the 3-0 is right down the middle for strike 1.
That's the pitch she's looking for.
Three 3-1 as it is fouled down the right field side. Caitlin Young is the only left-handed pitcher on this Lehigh team. The Mountain Hawks have had 4 pitchers appear throughout the season. As the 3-2 pitch will get a swinging strike out of Taylor Hill. It's the first strikeout of the afternoon for Caitlin Young. It will strand a runner on second, and end the top of the 5th inning. We're still tied at 2, heading into the bottom of the 5th at Leadership Park. NCAA Division I Softball, Lehigh and Seton Hall, on part of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. Bottom of the 5th inning here at Leadership Park. Coming to the plate for Lehigh in the bottom of the 5th inning is Brooke Cannon, who had a walk that loaded off the bases back into first. Her last at-bat was a flyout. So we're still tied. Kelsey Carr on the mound for Seton Hall. Seton Hall previously had action going into bullpen, but they don't at the moment. So it seems they're happy to let their starter keep pitch. And now the first pitch of the bottom of the 5th will land outside for a 1-0 count against the junior center fielder out of Virginia Beach, Cannon. 0 for 1 on the day. Second pitch below the knees. And a favorable count for the jersey number 1 on Lehigh, as it is grounded to 2-0 to Carr. Over to Gilbert at first for the first out.
Left fielder, number 5, Josie Charles.
Josie Charles has the only extra base hit for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks this afternoon. She ended up coming around to score a run, and she swings at the first pitch for strike 1. And 1 against Charles. And away for ball 1. The 1-1 down and away. 2-2. Both teams still have their starting pitchers in the game. Kelsey Carr now on 83 pitches. Caitlin Young has thrown 53. 2-2 to score. 2-1 count. 1 away and swung on by Charles. Evens it up. Both teams have recorded only 1 strikeout so far. Two-two to Charles, who's going to lift this one into left center. It'll drop. And she's going to round second and head to third. A risky play. She's in for the triple. Josie Charles has reached base in each of her 3 plate appearances. A walk back into first. A double that ended up scoring Lehigh's second run, and now she has the triple.
What a play, and truly ecstatic here, and important for the momentum of the Mountain Hawks.
I mean, the speed from Josie Charles to extend that one out an extra base. One away, and this first pitch is going to be lined into center by Rory Dudley. Coming around to score is Charles, and Dudley has a double. Lehigh takes the lead.
And the crowd here is going wild right now.
3-2 lead. Back-to-back pitches, back-to-back extra base hits. One away, bottom of the fifth. Sydney Parlett will be the next batter at the plate. We didn't even get the chance to introduce Dudley before she ripped that one over the head of Abby Wingo out in center field. So now one away, Lehigh in front. They've won 10 of their last 11. And the first pitch outside for a ball. It's 3-2 Lehigh with one away. The Mountain Hawks have recorded 7 hits and have stranded 7 runners on base so far. The 1-0 to the first year. Parlett is going to be popped into shallow right. Moving forward is Taylor Hill, and that will be the second out.
Designated player, number 7, Lindsay Martin.
Lindsay Martin coming to the plate. Rory Dudley has 2 hits so far. Both are doubles, and both drove in runs. She's driven in each of Lehigh's past 2. Lindsay Martin is 0 for 1 with a walk, and the first pitch, low for a ball. Martin fouls this one back towards the Seton Hall dugout on the left field side. So for the second time this afternoon, it was Dudley driving in Charles. 1-1 with 2 outs. And strike 2 called as Martin looks at the pitch that goes past her. One and 2 to Martin. Puts it up into center. Wingo backtracking towards the wall, and she makes the catch at the edge of the warning track. It's the end of the 5th inning. Lehigh scores on a double from Rory Dudley. It's her second double of the game, and it's the 3rd run the Mountain Hawks score of the game. They lead 3-2 heading into the top of the 6th. We're back for the top of the 6th here at Leadership Park. Batting in the 3rd spot of the lineup, the 3rd baseman Leela Allen has a single and a ground out so far.
Leading off for Seton Hall, 3rd base, number 6, Leela Allen.
And the first pitch of the top of the 6th to Allen is going to be popped into shallow left. Running up and lifting her glove above her head is Josie Charles, who makes the first out on the very first pitch.
Yeah, that was a clean
Pitcher
catch.
number 4,
Just needed
Kelsey
to have a
Carr.
nice walk up and a stretch and a grab.
Caitlin Young only on 54 pitches, pitching 5 1/3 innings so far. And the first pitch is low at the plate is the pitcher for Seton Hall, Kelsey Carr. So far on the season, has 19 hits, 1 of those came today. Carr fouls the 1-0 over the Lehigh dugout towards the Lehigh bullpen. Pitchers warming up in the bullpens for both teams. We'll see what happens for both sides, as now we're at 1-2 after the foul to the right field fencing. A nice attendance for a game where, you know, the weather may not be as warm as it was last weekend against Bucknell.
Certainly.
1-2. Fouled on right field.
I will say it has been quite warm the past 2 days during the week, almost up or all the way into the 70s here in the Lehigh Valley, but not today.
Not today. 1-2 count, 1 away. And Carr will just line this one right into the glove of first baseman Rory Dudley. It's the second out.
Center fielder number 19, Abby Wingo.
Abby Wingo has a RBI so far. She has a batting average now up above 380. The first pitch from Caitlin Young to Wingo is in for a strike. 0-1 against the center fielder. This one's going to be lined right to Dudley again, the first baseman making 2 straight plays. Lehigh leads this one 3-2 to middle of the 6th inning. The middle of the 6th inning, the Mountain Hawks coming to the bat in the bottom half as Maddie Schmeiser at the bottom of the order is coming to the plate. She is 0 for 2 on the day. Still the only Lehigh batter to have struck out. On the mound for Seton Hall, it's still Kelsey Carr in the bottom of the 6th.
Leading off for Lehigh.
Lehigh leading 3-2. Kelsey Carr has thrown 90 pitches in the first 5 innings. And first pitch down and away for ball 1. The 1-0 offering. Schmeiser grounds it past the glove of the shortstop Perez. She will be in with a single. Perez dove out towards second base, trying to repeat the diving play she made earlier on in the game. Just a bit too far this time. Runner on first, Carly Baryak-Tarvich at the plate. She reached base with a single on a bunt, and I would personally expect her to attempt the bunt again. Third baseman and first baseman for Seton Hall both moving in, anticipating the bunt. She attempts it. It will be foul to the left field side. The way that, especially Seton Hall third baseman Leila Allen is basically like at the pitcher's mound, playing at that level, trying to stop Baryak-Tarvich, because that's literally the exact spot she placed her bunt single earlier on today. Runner on first, 0-1 count, ball down and away, and it's a 1-1 to the fifth-year senior from the state of Michigan. One from Carr. Baryak-Tarvich, will foul it over the Seton Hall bullpen. .102 pitches so far for Kelsey Carr. As Baryak-Tarvich is going to put that one just past the brink of the infield. It will drop in for a single. With nobody out, Lehigh will have Baryak-Tarvich on first and Schmeiser on second, and Lily Owens coming to the plate.
This is a great position for the Mountain Hawks to be in. Perhaps they can extend their lead in this inning.
The infield for Seton Hall coming out to coalesce around Kelsey Carr, discuss strategy. The second-year manager, second-year head coach for Seton Hall is Angie Churchill, who has just done a great job putting this team in contention to be a top team in the Big East come playoff time. And they have played a close game with Lehigh. 3-2, nobody away, runners first and second. Lily Owens, the first year from Chino Hills, California, is going to lay down a bunt on the first pitch. It's going to bounce backwards behind home plate. A foul ball. Baryak-Tarvich was halfway to third base by the time they ruled it. Keep an eye on her to try to get the early jump.
These teams are pretty evenly matched here, so any advantage is useful.
Owens pop to right field. Baryak-Tarvich tags up. She's coming into third base. Allen is going to get her out. A great throw from right field from Taylor Hill right into the glove of Leila Allen. A fantastic defensive play from Seton Hall. Advancing to second is advancing to... Actually, that's going to be Schmeiser got out at third. Baryak-Tarvich advances to second. So 2 outs with Emily Samino at the plate in the bottom of the sixth.
That was a huge play there for Seton Hall. Certainly they don't want to keep the Mountain Hawks above.
Yeah, Schmeiser was... She took off for third after Taylor Hill made the catch. Severely underestimated her arm. Severely underestimated how accurate that throw was going to be. 2 outs. Lehigh have already stranded 8 runners on base. The first pitch is a ball to Emily Samino, and so is the second. So both pitches kind of landing around her ankles. So Baryak-Tarvich is the runner on second now. She was the runner on first. She advanced. Schmeiser advanced to third as the 2-0 pitch is lined just maybe like 6 inches above the ground into the glove of Leila Allen for the third out. So it's 3-2 Lehigh after 6. The 7th inning coming up And heading back on the mound to finish out the game will be Caitlin Young for Lehigh. So we'll be back soon at the top of the 7th. Top of the 7th inning. Bottom of the top of the 7th inning at Leadership Park. Lehigh looking to finish this one out against Seton Hall. It's going to be Olivia Gilbert, the first baseman, who is 0 for 2 so far in the afternoon, leading off for Seton Hall, a team that has recorded 5 hits against Lehigh starting pitcher Caitlin Young, who has been as efficient as they get this afternoon. Caitlin Young, the junior, has only thrown 61 pitches in 6 innings of work. First pitch of the 7th will be just a bit above the zone for ball 1. So Gilbert at 6 leads off. Then they have Shelby Smith and the 7th and Andrea Perez at the 8th spot, both of which have recorded hits already. Second pitch of ball, 2-0 count. Outside again, 3-0 count against Gilbert, the first baseman for Seton Hall, who is going to land the first strike in there on the 3-0. Gilbert so far has 31 hits. And, well, she's only walked 6 times in 97 at-bats. 3-1 is fouled into the Lehigh bullpen on the right field side. A full count, nobody away. Payoff pitch from Young is going to be lined into right, moving over to try to get it Semino. She won't be able to in time, but she'll get the throw in to hold Gilbert up at second with a double. It kind of bounced just around the right field line. Definitely was a fair ball.
Player number 23, Shelby Smith.
Gilbert did her job and got the double. A runner is in scoring position. Seton Hall trailing by 1. And coming in to pitch hit is going to be
number 9, Taylor Soanes.
Senior number 9, Taylor Soanes. One of the 3 players on this Seton Hall roster from Texas. Nobody away. The first pitch is going to be grounded into center field. Soanes coming home. The play at the plate. They get her out. A fantastic throw from the center fielder Cannon to Parlett. The first out of the inning for Lehigh. They stay in the lead 3-2. Advancing to second is Shelby Smith on the first pitch of the at-bat.
That was an exciting play right there. That fielder knew exactly what the runner would try to do, and they would be able to make that clean throw back home.
Amber Johnson, a sophomore, coming in to pinch run for Smith at second base. Lehigh pitching coach Patty Ruth Taylor is heading out to talk with the infield, and Lehigh's head coach Fran Troyan heading over to signal a roster change. So we'll see if Lehigh opts to change pitchers. No, they choose not to. They're going to let Caitlin Young stay in with one away. Top of the 7th. It's Andrea Perez.
Number 10, Amber Johnson. Now batting shortstop, number 11, Andrea Perez.
She is 1 for 2 as she grounds the first pitch past the first baseman. Holding up at third is Johnson. And now first and third with one away. It's going to be Hannah Alexander for Seton Hall. The game, if tied after 7 innings, will end in a tie. But Lehigh will have one more chance to come to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. There's one out. There's runners on the corners. 3-2 Lehigh lead. The first pitch from Alexander is in center. It will drop. A run scores. Seton Hall ties the game. They have just been taking the first pitch of each of these last 2 at-bats, and great contact right into the outfield on every single one of them. The game is tied with 1 out.
Seton Hall certainly decided to step up this inning and tie up the game and show Lehigh what they got.
This Seton Hall team is used to late game heroics. They scored 11 runs in the last 3 innings against Ryder in the first game of the doubleheader to secure a 10-run comeback win. There's 1 out. A pinch runner for Seton Hall at first. It's Caroline Hobbs, the first year from New York State.
Now running at first base for Seton Hall, number 14, Caroline Hobbs.
So 1 away, top of the order for Seton Hall. Ashley Colanetta is 0 for 3 on the day. Hits on each of the last 3 at-bats for Seton Hall. We are tied in the top of the 7th with 1 away. The first pitch is low for a ball. After this game concludes, we'll have a second game, 1-0. Swung on from Colanetta, even count. We're going to have a second game. We're going to broadcast that one as well. We're going to have a half-hour break between games as signaled by the Lehigh Athletic staff who are running the show here today. 1-1. And misses just outside. One out. Runners first and second base. Tie game, 3-3. Colanetta grounds it, and the throw over to third. They're going to say Schmeiser stepped off the bag, so it was grounded to Young. She attempted a throw over to third. Schmeiser stepped off the bag in order to field the ball. And now the bases are jammed. There's 1 away. It's tied in the top of the 7th. And Taylor Hill, the right fielder's at the plate. The first pitch swung on and missed. Hill 0 for 3 so far.
This can certainly be a turning point for Seton Hall, and maybe they'll even get ahead in this part.
Hill has grounded out to the right side of the infield twice. He has struck out once. 0-1 pitch from Young. Misses for a ball. They can take the lead here with 1 away. Bases loaded. 3-3. They've scored a run already in the inning. The 1-1. In for a strike. Caitlin Young has only thrown one strikeout all afternoon. And now she has 2 strikes against Taylor Hill. 1-2, bases loaded, tied at 3. Low for ball 2. Even count. The 2-2 from Young is fouled up the right field line by Hill. Runners took off, but it just danced to the right of the first base bag. The wind picking up at Leadership Park. Tie game, top of the 7th. Young kicks and deals on the 2-2, gets the swing and miss. It's the second out of the inning. It's a crucial out. And we are still tied. The bases are still loaded. But now Lehigh is 1 out away from getting out of the jam. Leela Allen is the third baseman. She is the next batter. She has a hit so far this afternoon. First pitch from Young is in for a strike. A huge strikeout from Caitlin Young there.
It's crucial for Caitlin Young to end this inning here without any more damage.
0-1. Just on the edge of the zone, ruled a ball. Young signals home the 1-1. It's going to be hit into play. Baryak-Tarvich throws it over to first. And the Mountain Hawks get out of the inning and keep the game tied. It's 3-3 going into the bottom of the 7th here at Leadership Park. Seton Hall and Lehigh tied.
Number 23.
It's the Big East All-Second Team pitcher coming in, Shelby Smith, who's been the designated player so far throughout the course of the game. She'll now be pitching after recording 2 hits at the plate. For the bottom of the 7th, we are tied at 3. Bottom of the 7th. Lehigh has 4, 5, 6. Brooke Cannon is the first batter at the plate. So far for Smith on the season, she has a 2.80 ERA, 7-5 in 16 appearances. The first pitch is high for ball 1. Cannon thought about bunt formation and pulled back. The 1-0 from Smith. good for Cannon as it lands just outside for ball 2. Shelby Smith was the winning pitcher in the comeback victory against Ryder. Third pitch in for strike 1. Shelby Smith also the first non-starting pitcher we've seen all game. The 2-1 to Cannon. Misses below the knees for ball 3. Tie game. The game will end in a tie should neither team score. Fouled away. Full count against the junior center fielder from Virginia Beach, Brooke Cannon. The 3-2 from Smith is fouled behind into the netting behind home plate. The Mountain Hawks have left 9 runners on base so far this afternoon. And a 3-2, just a bit high. It will allow Cannon to reach first. The game is tied 3-3. There's nobody out. There's now a Lehigh runner on first base. It's Brooke Cannon. And Josie Charles steps into the box, having 2 hits so far this afternoon. She is 2 for 2. She's also received a walk, her 2 hits, a double and a triple. As Charles pulls as if she's going to bunt, it lands outside the zone. Charles pulls back in time. It's 1-0. 2 extra base hits for Josie Charles. There's a runner on first for Lehigh. Nobody out. The 1-0 from Smith. Shelby Smith lands it outside. It's 2-0. Rory Dudley on deck for Lehigh also has 2 extra base hits. So this is the part of the lineup that has been producing the most for Lehigh. Nobody away, 2-0 count. And outside for ball 3. The Seton Hill defense, whether it was that long throw from Taylor Hill from right field or that diving catch from Perez, have always been able to make big plays in big moments. Looking for one here, 3-0 count against Josie Charles. And just clips the zone for strike 1. The 3-1 from Smith. Running to second is Cannon. The pitch was swung on. It's a full count. Cannon advances to second on the stolen base. Lehigh has the winning run 2 bases away in a tie game. The full count pitch to Charles. Swung on and missed. It's the first strikeout for Shelby Smith.
First base, number 10, Rory Dudley.
And now there's one away, with Rory Dudley coming to the plate next. She has 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. She's driven in each of the last 2 runs for Lehigh. It's tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 7th. 1 away. Runner on second. The first pitch from Shelby Smith is wide for ball 1. The 1-0 offering from Smith. Outside. On second base is Brooke Cannon. She stole second. She has 8 stolen bases on the season. 2-0. And just in at the top of the zone for strike 1 on the 2-0 pitch. (2-1) in a tie game with 1 away. Here's the pitch. Fouled off the catcher into the backstop for strike 2. (17 pitches so far this inning for Shelby Smith. Here's the 2-2. And grounded. Gets the out at first. Running over to third is Brooke Cannon. And they get the ground out to the pitcher on Dudley, but it doesn't stop Brooke Cannon from advancing to third base. She is a base away from winning this game. This game will end in a tie.
This is sure a tense moment right here. The runner on third and 2 outs.
It's Sydney Parlett. Ball 1 on the first pitch from Shelby Smith. You want a big moment for a first-year player. Sydney
Sure.
Parlett has delivered time and time again since she has arrived at Lehigh. The 1-0 from Shelby Smith. And Parlett holds up. She thought about swinging. It will be in for a strike. A great job to clip the inside the zone for Shelby Smith. Game tied at 3. 2 away. Runner on third base. Count 1-1. And ground line to second. Diving out to make the catch is going to be Colanetta. And Seton Hall have gotten out of this first game. Are they going to make the decision to play extra innings in a non-conference doubleheader? No, they're gonna end it there. So as Lehigh comes out onto the field to practice, that's going to be the end of the ball game. As Lehigh and Seton Hall are going to. I'm kind of wondering what's happening here because they brought out players. Okay, I think we're going to play extra innings here. That is my final judgment. Despite the fact that conventionally for non-conference doubleheaders, this hasn't been the case. So, I guess the decision by the coaches, we're going to continue playing into the 8th. We're going to have a winner here.
All right, yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great decision for the teams. You don't want to like have games ending without a victor. I understand that we always kind of play with time in mind. We always play with keeping sunlight in mind because there are no lights at this field.
That is correct.
It's already 3:30, so we're looking at least a 4 p.m. start time, if not later. So non-conference doubleheader extra innings.
Exciting.
Exciting, not something that I've announced before, but top 8. And Kelsey Carr is going to be the first batter. She started this game on the mound. First pitch from Caitlin Young, who's still on the mound, is going to be grounded to the left field side. Past the gloves of both Schmeiser and Baryak-Tarvich. And a runner is aboard.
Center fielder, number 19, Abby Wingo.
Abby Wingo is going to be the second batter in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch low for a ball from Young. And Wingo pops this one into left. It's going to be out of play. 1-2 count. We should be fine to get this doubleheader in on sunlight because the sun won't set in Bethlehem tonight until around 7:30. Maybe a bit earlier as the mountains might be blocking out a bit of the sun. But we can't really see the sun today as it's a cloudy day. The 1-2 pitch will be outside, or 1-1 pitch will be outside for a ball. It's 2-1 against Abby Wingo, the center fielder. She has an RBI so far. On first is Carr. And outside 3-1. The wind has calmed quite a bit since we had our first pitch back at 1:30. 3-1 to Wingo is fouled over the bullpen for Seton Hall on the left field side. Bonus softball in the 8th inning. Full count, nobody out. Runner on first. It is grounded off of Caitlin Young's leg. And runner advances to second. In at first is Wingo. It will be a single on the line drive off the pitcher. Young looks okay to carry on.
First base, number 13, Olivia Gilbert.
Runner on first and second. Top of the 8th, nobody out. It will be Olivia Gilbert, the next to come to the plate. Infielders coming in to talk to Caitlin Young. I think as we move later into this game, Young now up to 90 pitches. I think it's going to open the door for a pitching change as Caitlin Young is going to get high fives from her teammates, get high fives as she walks into the dugout. And it will be the end of the day for Caitlin Young. Her final stat line is she will make it through 7 innings, throw 90 pitches, give up 11 runs. She gave up the 3 runs Seton Hall has scored. However, only 2 of them are earned. It's a tie game, 3-3, nobody out in the top of the 8th, and coming on the mound for Lehigh is the first-year Chloe Hess. Out of Hancock, Maryland, she had a bit of a rough outing against Princeton, allowed 5 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings of work. Her record for the season is 9-3. She has a 1.95 ERA. The first pitching change for Lehigh so far, and it's the first mid-inning pitching change in this game. Looking at the sights and sounds of just being at Leadership Park, everyone kind of dressed in jackets, hoodies, kind of unaware of what weather we'd be facing after what was admittedly a very warm and pleasant week in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Definitely was super nice the last few days. Foley was as nice today, but still relatively not too bad. Everyone here is still excited to watch this game and see how it ends. It's a close one.
Nobody out, runners first and second. It's Wingo on first, Carr on second for Seton Hall. Chloe Hess is now in the 8th inning to pitch. And Olivia Gilbert is at the plate. First offering from Hess will be popped up to a retreating Lily Owens, who moves back into the outfield to make the play. The Lehigh first-year second baseman will get the first out as there's one away. Shelby Smith, the former designated player, now pitcher in this ball game, will come to the plate with one away. She has 2 hits. First pitch high from Hess. And here's the 1-0. Grounded down to third base line. It's going to bounce foul just before it reaches the bag. Could have been trouble for Lehigh had it not, despite the fact it was in Schmeizer's glove. One and one. The dealing is a slower pitch. It's going to land just low for ball two. After this series against Seton Hall, Lehigh will travel on the road. Good 4.5-hour drive up to Hamilton to take on Colgate. The fourth pitch of the at-bat fouled back, so it's 2-2, 1 out. Runners first and second, game tied at 3 at Leadership Park. The 2-2 from Hess is popped into right field. Under it is Semino, and she will force Carr to hold up at second as she was moving forward and ready to attempt a quick throw.
Shortstop, number 11, Andrea Perez.
Andrea Perez, the shortstop, has 2 hits already. There's 2 away, and there's 2 runners on base. The first pitch from Hess to Perez. Just a bit outside for ball 1. The 1-0 is fouled to the right side. Will drop out of the reach of Semino. One. And this one popped up in play, moving over is Owens, and she bobbles it but makes the catch. I'm sure the Lehigh defense just had a collective gasp as it bounced out of Owens' glove. But she makes the play middle of the 8th inning. Still tied at 3 at Leadership Park. We'll be back in the second. Lehigh coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. We have some bonus softball. I wouldn't really call it free softball because it's free in the first place.
True.
Leading off for Lehigh, designated player, number 7, Lindsay Martin.
Lindsay Martin is batting 8th in the Lehigh order, and she'll be the first batter in the bottom of the 8th. Shelby Smith is still on the mound after coming in relief for Kelsey Carr in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th, as Martin fouls this one over to right field side for strike 1. If you're wondering how we got here, it's been such a back and forth game. Lehigh took the lead early on in the first, and then Seton Hall responded into second. Lehigh scored into third. Seton Hall responds into fourth. And Lehigh scored one more run, entered the 7th inning with the lead. Lehigh's starting pitcher Caitlin Young got into a bit of trouble, and Seton Hall ended up tying the game. So the second pitch in for a looked at by Martin for a strike. It's 0-2. Third pitch back to a 1-2 count.
Lehigh just needs to score that one sweet run to end the game.
Martin grounded to third base. The throw over will just be in time. A great play by Leela Allen to retire Martin. It's the first out.
Third base, number 20, Maddie Schmeiser.
Maddie Schmeiser, the third baseman, is the next batter for the Mountain Hawks. She has 1 for 3 on the afternoon. One away, first pitch. It looked good, but calling a ball. Over the heart of the plate. And the 1-0 from Shelby Smith. Outside for the second ball. Signals home to 2-0, and a check swing, gonna resort to the third base umpire. They're gonna say that Maddie Schmeiser did not go around. A 3-0 count with 1 away, and a tie game in the bottom of the 8th. The wind is picking up, still blowing down the left field side, fouled back into netting. Behind home plate to the left field side. I wanted to take a second to thank the existence of netting, or else Caden would have had to taken you the rest of the way in this broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
2-2 is fouled off of Schmeiser. Second foul ball at the at-bat. Shelby Smith, the second team All-Big East selection last season, deals the 2-2, and outside, we're back to a full count. One away, base is empty, tie game, bottom of the 8th, as Schmeiser launches this one into left. It will drop. She will round first, but hold up, as it's her second hit of the ball game. Lehigh with a runner on first. Heading back to the top of the order, Baryak Harvich has 2 hits so far.
That was crucial right there for Lehigh. With only 1 out, there's still plenty of chances to end this game here. Score another run.
1 away, tie game. 3-3 is the score. The bunt on the first pitch from Baryak Tarvich will land foul. I think it's safe to assume at this point that 9 times out of 10, Carly Baryak Tarvich is going to try to bunt the ball on the first pitch she faces.
I'd certainly agree. It seems to be working for her so far.
0-1 infield in. And away, 1-1. Tied 3-3. Baryak Tarvich fouled. into the netting just before the Seton Hall dugout on the left field side. 1-2. The 1-2 fouled again, staying alive. It's the fifth-year senior Bogdanovich. One away. Lily Owens, who has scored a run earlier in the game, is on deck. Infield still in for Seton Hall on the corners. Runner on first, 1-2. Bogdanovich fouls this one, might be in play. No, it won't. Just bounced off at the tip of the Seton Hall dugout. 1-2, bottom of the eighth. The first game of a doubleheader. And they get the swing and miss on the 1-2, retiring Bogdanovich. For Shelby Smith, it is her second strikeout, and with 2 outs, Lehigh will have Lily Owens come to the plate. Schmeiser still on first, and head coach Tran Troyan and his assistant coach Dave Troyan, his son, who we hired in 2022 to join the coaching staff, coming to meet with both Owens and Schmeiser to discuss what's going to happen in this next at-bat. 2 outs. Runner on first. The score is 3-3. Seton Hall tied it in the 7th. First pitch from Owens, foul behind. 0-1 count to Lily Owens, who enters this game tied with Emily Semino for the lead on the team in home runs with 6. Owens grounded to second. It is fielded by Colanetta. And that is the end of the 8th inning. And we are going to be playing even more softball as the teams will come out for the top of the 9th.
Lehigh, no runs,
And
1 hit, no errors.
we're still tied at 3 from Leadership Park on this production of the Lehigh Student Broadcasting Club. We are using all the daylight this town has to offer in the first game of this doubleheader between Seton Hall and Lehigh. Eddie Fiore joined by Caden Benedetto. We are heading to the top of the 9th inning, Caden. We have certainly been out here for a while.
We have, and I wasn't expecting the first game to go all the way to 9 innings. But, yeah, here we are.
Leading off the Seton Hall, catcher number 41, Hannah Alexander.
Hannah Alexander, the catcher, is coming to the plate first. Had an RBI earlier today on a sacrifice fly deep to center field. The first pitch from Chloe Hess will tip just a bit high. from Hess. This one inside. And a very favorable start of the inning for Alexander. The 2-0 is inside for ball 3. This result of extra innings and using both Young and Hess raises a lot of questions for Lehigh, a team that's only used 4 pitchers this season, on what direction do they go with their pitching in game 2 of this doubleheader. The 3-0 pitch in for a strike to Alexander. But they have Maria Urban, who has started the games this season. She's kind of in the third option. We'll see if Lehigh opts to use her. As Alexander pops this one into right, moving forward towards the foul line is Samino. She puts it away for the first out.
Number 1, Ashley Colaneta.
Ashley Colaneta is coming to the plate now at the top of the order. For Seton Hall, 1 away in the top of the 9th. We are tied 3-3. The first pitch to Colaneta, upstairs, 1-0 count. The scorecard for Seton Hall is looking more and more convoluted by the inning. They have used 4 different pinch runners, as the 1-0 is down and away, 2-0 count. They've used 4 different pinch runners. They've done a few double switches, moved some people in and out of the lineup, moved people onto the mound. 2-0 count to Colaneta. She runs forward in bunt formation. It will land far away from her bat for a ball. The 3-0 from Hess, right down the middle for strike 1. We've seen a lot of 3-0 counts and then they just throw it right, down to strike, and I don't think I've seen a swing on 3-0 all afternoon. The 3-1, just a bit high, and Colaneta with a great plate discipline will take her base. So now there's 1 away. There's a runner on. Taylor Hill, who is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, is coming up next for Seton Hall with 1 away. One away, tied at 3. First pitch from Hess on the at-bat to Hill. In for a strike. Despite the fact Taylor Hill has not had the best of days today, she still is a lethal hitter. As she fouls that one back, she's recorded 15 extra base hits so far this season off of her 33 hits. So when she puts the ball in play and it drops, she can leg out doubles, she can leg out triples. And she can definitely go yard. 0-2 now after a foul ball, as this one is fouled up again out of play into the stands. I'd say for the most part, the wind has backed off just a little bit, as we still are sitting at an 0-2 count, 1 away, runner on first. Here's the offering from Hess, just outside, 1-2.
And teams are itching for some action here to end out this game, but it looks like we're not getting it.
The 1-2 offering, check swing from Hill doesn't quite go around. It's a bit outside the zone, levels up the count. off the plate, ball free, back to a full count, 1 away. The game is tied 3-3 at Leadership Park. We are in the top of the 9th inning in the first game of a non-conference doubleheader. And popped up just off of the third base bag. It will be fielded by Schmeiser for out number 2.
There we go. Lehigh has a chance to get this half of the inning down and out and have their chance at it.
2 outs in the top of the 9th. Leela Allen is the next batter for Seton Hall. She is 1 for 4 on the day, but she has reached base free. She has left 3 runners on base. Earlier, whenever Seton Hall had runners in scoring position, the first pitch is in a good location, just a bit too much height on it. 1-0. Allen grounded to Hess. She will take her time and get it over to Dudley. And we are in the middle of the 9th inning, still tied. Both teams now with 10 or more hits as we head to the bottom of the 9th. It is Lehigh and Seton Hall still tied at 3 in extra innings. Heading to the bottom of the 9th, 3-4-5 for Lehigh. It's going to be Emily Semino, the right fielder. The entire outfield for the Mountain Hawks due up. Shelby Smith has thrown 40 pitches so far in this relief outing for Seton Hall. She is back out for the bottom of the 9th.
Leading off for Lehigh, right fielder number 6, Emily Semino.
We're out here for the bottom of the 9th. The first pitch from Shelby Smith. Semino fouls it back for strike 1.
That foul ball came almost right at us.
It's very hard, even with the netting, not to just naturally flinch. And the 0-1, and ball low. Yeah, this is my 6th year doing broadcasting for either high school or college sports. I've not been hit by a ball yet. I have been almost hit by a hockey puck.
Oh my. That'd certainly be something.
1-1. And over the plate, ruled a ball. So the 2-1 count tied 3 all in the top of the in the bottom of the 9th. Nobody out. The heart of Lehigh's order, but Semino's 1 for 4. Semino lifts this one into left, and sliding forward is Marisa Plon to make the catch.
Man, this is a tough game here. Neither team is letting up at the end of the game. And this is going to be a tough one for either team to win.
Yeah, great play from Marisa Plon. She had to kind of slide on her knees to get into position to reach that fly ball. It was dropping fast, but she was able to get there in time. The first pitch in the next at bat to Brooke Cannon is away for ball one. She has reached base twice in 4 plate appearances, and they both were on walks as Cannon fouls it down the right field line, 1-1. Counts even. Here's the 1-1 dealing from Shelby Smith. Outside for ball 2. Now here's the 2-1. And high and outside for ball 3. This has been a good game. Both of these teams have recorded 10 hits. The fielding has been great. The pitching has been great. But they're just so evenly matched. 3-1 count. Low, and Brooke Cannon has been a walk machine this afternoon. She gets the free pass to first base for the 3rd time.
Yeah, these teams certainly are evenly matched. It's
Left fielder, number 5.
been impressive to see them go to 9 innings at a standstill at 3-3.
Josie Charles has 2 extra base hits, including a triple. She has an RBI. And first pitch in for a strike. Brooke Cannon has stolen a base already this afternoon. It was her 9th of the season. As the 0-1 to Charles, a few inches high of the frame. Now here's the 1-1. Fouled left side. We have the 1-2 count. 1 away, bottom of the 9th, tied at 3. Runner on first. Here's the 1-2. And Charles fouls Shelby Smith's pitch to the left field side.
Charles is certainly swinging with excitement, but cannot seem to hit it quite cleanly.
Now here's the 1-2, and Smith threw that one. She really wanted it to go just a bit outside. It was such a close call. Almost got the strikeout, but we're at 2-2. And Cannon takes off for second on the 2-2 pitch. It's outside of the zone. Cannon is in at second safely.
It's pretty big there, similar to what we saw in a previous inning.
This is the second game that Lehigh's played in that's advanced to 9 or more innings. They played Georgetown earlier in the season. That game went to 13 innings. Nearly 2 full games in 1. Full count, 1 away. Josie Charles is going to foul this one again. That 13-inning game against Georgetown was tied for the longest game in Lehigh softball history.
Wow. Certainly was a long one.
Full count still. 1 away. Runner on second. Josie Charles is going to foul this one to the exact same location that she fouled the last one. The same fan that ran over into left field to gather the previous foul ball is now running down the hill again towards the soccer field to grab a second foul ball. 3-2 count, tie game, extra innings, runner on second. And Charles will take her base on the ball outside the zone.
With only one out, Lehigh certainly has a great chance here to finally score the last run of the game.
Rory Dudley is 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. I really appreciate the Lehigh Athletics staff workers that chase after the foul balls, because the way this field is set up, there's like a downhill slope to the left field side. It's really hard to get them. So 1 away, runner on first and second. The first pitch from Shelby Smith is off the plate, away from the batter. It's ball 1. Here's pitch 60 from Shelby Smith. It's fouled behind. So Kelsey Carr, who started the game for Seton Hall, had 108. Shelby Smith has 60. Compare that to a Lehigh team as opposed to 168 pitches. Lehigh have only thrown 118 to get to this point. 1-1. And this one is grounded to third. Grounded to short. They're going to get the runner out at second. Brooke Cannon will advance to third. And on the fielder's choice, there's going to be runners on the corners. Lehigh once again 1 base away from winning this game.
Lehigh certainly wants to end the game here, but they cannot let another out go before then.
Pitching coach for Seton Hall coming out to talk with the infield. There are 2 outs. So obviously a sacrifice fly is out of the question here. After discussing with coach, Shelby Smith is going to stay in this game. Lehigh have stranded 11 runners on base so far this afternoon.
Sure, they're looking to not do that here.
Smith has forced 2 groundouts so far with 2 outs, as the first offering to Sydney Parlett, the first-year catcher, is high of the zone. Here's the 1-0 to Parlett. Outside for ball 2. Obviously, they don't want to give Parlett the base for no reason, but with second base open and runners on the corners and with 2 outs, it wouldn't be the end of the world for Seton Hall if Parlett were to advance via walk.
That's true.
And Sydney Parlett fouls this one to the right field side, back over the bleachers. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in this afternoon, supporting Lehigh student broadcasters, continuing to come out and be at these events. Has been a joy for us this semester. 2-1. Parlett is going to face a strike inside the zone. She'll foul it off. She's been continuously getting a piece of it. I mean, there's been so many foul balls in this game solely because there's been so few strikeouts. Seton Hall has only produced 3 strikeouts in 9 innings. 2-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Runners on the corners. Parlett is going to pop this one into right. And fielding it in foul territory is Taylor Hill. And we are going to inning number 10 at Leadership Park. Tied 3-3 after 9. Lehigh leaves 2 on base. We'll be back with the top of the 10th inning. in the top of the 10th inning here at Leadership Park. We're tied 3-3, and coming to the plate for Seton Hall will be Kelsey Carr, who started this game on the mound. She pitched the first 6 innings for the Pirates, gave up 9 hits and 3 earned runs, and at the plate has recorded 2 singles. Carr in bunt formation down to third base line, fielded by Schmeiser over to Owens for out number 1. A quick first out for the Mountain Hawks.
Center fielder, number 19, Abby Wingo.
So if you're just tuning in, top of the 10th inning, 3-3 game in the first of a doubleheader. It's definitely a possibility at this point that they push the second game doubleheader back to tomorrow, as the sun will set around 7. The first pitch to Abby Wingo, the center fielder, will land in for a strike. Wingo with 2 hits and an RBI. A traditional day for one of the best hitters in the Big East, as she swings at a pitch way outside the zone for strike 2. Home plate umpire coming out to hand Chloe Hess the softball, as it's an 0-2 count against Wingo. And here's the 0-2. And just in the zone. It's a strikeout for Chloe Hess. And 2 away in the top of the 10th.
First base, number 13, Olivia Gilbert.
There haven't been too many strikeouts this game.
There have not for Hess. That is her first. And now the first pitch to Olivia Gilbert is going to land in, so it's 4 straight strikes. This one looked at just right over the heart of the plate. Oh, actually, they ruled not one a ball. They ruled not one a strike. The scoreboard says ball for some reason. So that one is a ball. It's a 1-1 count in the top of the 10th. A tie game, 3-3. Nobody on base. And grounded to Baryak Tarvich at short. Over to first base. We're heading to the bottom of the 10th inning. Still tied at 3. We have not seen a run since the top of the 7th. Lehigh coming to the plate in the first game of today's doubleheader with the bottom of the 10th. So as we are in the bottom of the 10th, we're going to now have the rule where there's a runner on second base, and Krista Duenas is going to be that runner. I'm not sure if they were supposed to do that in the top of the 10th. First pitch to Lindsay Martin is a strike. And here's the 0-1. Just off the plate, Martin laid out as if she was going to bunt, and then she pulled back, so. Bottom of the 10th inning. Nobody away, runner on second. And popped up the bunt. Moving over to make the play to catch the pop-up bunt was the pitcher, Shelby Smith. So now there's one away and a runner on second.
Third base, number 20, Maddie Schmeiser.
Maddie Schmeiser is the next batter for Lehigh. She is 2 for 4 so far this afternoon. This is the last batter in the 5th run-through of Lehigh's lineup. The first offering from Shelby Smith just off the plate, outside for ball 1. Shelby Smith up to what will now be her 68th pitch in relief. Gets the swing and miss down the middle from Schmeiser. Almost a count at 1-1. There's not been many swings and misses throughout the course of this game. Tied at 3, runner on second. Bottom of the 10th inning. Schmeiser ducks in. It's a nice pitch from Shelby Smith. Will be ruled a ball. Schmeiser probably did a part in selling that by ducking out of the way. 2-1. Runner in scoring position. And the next offering will land an inch or two wide. 3-1 count. Here's the 3-1. And inside will be called strike 2. So we're back to a full count. Full count, one away. Schmeiser lifts this one into left, running over to make the catch is Marisa Pla. And it's 2 away as the Lehigh lineup loops back around to Carly Boryak-Tarvich, who is 2 for 5 on the afternoon, the 50-year. Is facing the first pitch with 2 away. In the bottom of the 10th, Boryak-Tarvich singles this, pops it up to shortstop, and under it to make the catch is Andrea Perez. We are through 10 innings, and we are tied at 3, heading to the top of the 11th here at Leadership Park. Back here for the top of the 11th inning. It's the second longest game Lehigh softball has played all season. They won the longest game that they've played all season in 13 innings, 7-6 over Georgetown. And now they're playing another Big East opponent in a very long game. They're playing Seton Hall. We are tied 3-3 at Leadership Park.
Hopefully, like that last game that went long, they'll win this one too.
It'll be Shelby Smith, the pitcher, coming to the plate for the 5th time today. She started this game as the designated player. If you're wondering how we got here, these two teams traded back and forth blows in the first 4 innings. It was 2-2 after that. And then as the first pitch from Shelby Smith is fouled, and actually it'll bounce in fair and over to, so picking it up was the first baseman. Coming into the bunt, coming in towards the bunt was the first baseman, Roy Dudley. It landed in just barely fair, and she went to tag out the batter at the plate, which was Shelby Smith, and dropped the ball. So.
First up, number 11, Andrea Perez.
Andrea Perez is next. Runner on first, nobody away. Will they try to bunt here? Perez will pull back, withhold from a swing. Strike one over the plate.
This is probably the closest we've seen 3 innings to one of the teams scoring, so we'll see.
And popped up to second baseman Owen. She makes a grab on the run for out number 1. It'll be Hannah Alexander to catcher next.
Catcher number 41, Hannah Alexander.
Shelby Smith currently on first base, not really a runner. She hasn't stolen a base so far this season. And strike one on the pitch that just clipped the outside part of the plate. Oh, 1 in for Hess. Hess has thrown 40 pitches, and 62% of them have been strikes. The 0-2 will be in a good location, but ruled a ball. That was a close call. Could have seen it going either way. Now here's the 1-2. As it's grounded to third base, the runner on third holds up. The runner on first advances to second, so now Olivia Gilbert is sitting on third base. Shelby Smith is sitting on second. It's the top of the 11th, so they did start with a runner on second. So there's a runner on second and third, 2 outs, top of the 11th inning. It's 3-3 right now. The best chance the team has had to score in extra innings. Ball away, 1 ball, no strikes. There also hasn't really been a hit in the past few innings.
No, there hasn't.
The 1-0, a big swing from Colanetta. Swings right through it. Even count.
Nice clean hit here. Could possibly win them the game, but
Colanetta 1-2 inside. 2-1, yeah. Runners second and third. I wouldn't be able to win them the game. I'd be able to give them the lead at least. Here's the 2-1. Runner second and third. A base is open. As it is grounded right in front of the pitcher, and Parlett moved off the plate to try to field it. Miscommunication between the pitcher and catcher. A run will come around to score. Seton Hall has taken the lead in the top of the 11th inning. The runner on second, Shelby Smith, advances to third.
Right fielder, number 33,
It's a
Taylor
hit
Hill.
for Seton Hall. And finally, we have a breakthrough here. 2 outs. As this one is launched down the left field side, it's going to land foul. Taylor Hill is 0 for 5 on the day. At the plate, but she unleashed the power on that one.
I'd say that one was go way far.
0-1 count. Outside, a few inches off the plate. Gonna square it up for the right fielder. And the 1-1 offering is high for ball 2. Hill to left. Moving back is Charles. It will bounce over her head. And 2 runs come around to score. Taylor Hill was 0 for 5 on the day, but she empties the bases and gives Seton Hall a 6-3 lead with 2 away in the top of the 11th.
That is certainly not what Lehigh was hoping to do right there, but after 10 innings,
Number 6,
well,
Leela
you
Allen.
tend to get tired.
It's the wind blowing towards left field. And Hill hit that one to deep left field. Pretty much in the perfect place for the wind to affect it, as Leela Allen is at the plate now for Seton Hall. The first pitch is in for a ball. It was in just the perfect place for it to just create a really confusing situation for Josie Charles. She didn't know where that ball was going to land.
Yeah, that's true. It's difficult.
1-0 right over the middle of the plate for strike 1.
If the Mountain Hawks can end the top of the 10th here, there's still a chance they could either tie it back up or win it in the next inning, but that would certainly be difficult.
Pop fly, left field side, moving over is Baryak Tarvich, who moves behind third base and makes a play. Seton Hall have put up 3 runs. They have broke this game open. In the top of the 11th, Lehigh coming to the plate in the bottom. Lehigh has the heart of the order coming to the plate in the bottom of the 11th inning. They trail Seton Hall 6-3. It will be Lily Owens leading off, batting second in the lineup. She is 1 for 5 on the afternoon. and has also scored a run.
Leading off for Lehigh, second base, number 13, Lily Owens.
She had the first hit for the Mountain Hawks all the way back in the first inning. Bottom of the 11th, nobody away, 6-3 Seton Hall. A runner begins on second as Owens lines this one into center. It will drop. Barjik-Tarvich comes home. And Lehigh have scored one of the 3 runs that they needed. Barjik-Tarvich started on second.
Yeah, it's certainly impressive there. Even though they just let in 3 runs at the top of the 10th, they are coming back into it in the bottom of the 10th and certainly don't want to give up this game too easily.
Andy Fiore joined here by Kaden Benedetto. We were both shivering at this point. First pitch upstairs from Shelby Smith, who has thrown 75 so far in this game as a reliever.
Wow. I didn't think it would come to this in the first game. 10 innings and that many pitches for the reliever.
Bottom of the 11th, nobody away. Second pitch of the at-bat fouled off, and 1-1. Semino so far is 1 for 5. She is the tying run at the plate. She is also tied for the team lead in home runs this season with 6. A home run here would tie it. 1-1, fouled back. Nobody away in the bottom of the 11th.
A tying home run sure would be an interesting and exciting scene to see.
Shelby Smith singles home the 1-2. Too much elevation. This game started at 1:30 p.m. It's now 4:30. It's about the length of a baseball game, pretty much, as Semino sends this one behind left field.
This game has been a long one so far, but certainly has also been interesting the entire way.
One of the most interesting games of the season for Lehigh as Semino lifts it into left, and a great play in left field. Extending her glove in the air is gonna be Pla, and she throws it all the way to first, and they get the runner out at first.
Oh my.
That was an incredible defensive play by Marisa Pla to not only field that, but get it over to Olivia Gilbert at first base in time for Lily Owens to be called out at first. 2 away. Brooke Cannon is at the plate for Lehigh. The first pitch is away for ball 1. Seton Hall now 1 out away from taking the win. They lead 6-4, 2 away, 1-0 count at Leadership Park. After a defensive play that you would have had to see with your own eyes.
Oh, I'd agree. It left me speechless personally.
The second pitch is looked at by Cannon for strike 1. The 1-1 from Shelby Smith is fouled behind. So now after 11 innings and 3 hours of game time, Seton Hall sits a strike away. Smith delivers the 1-2. Hannah Alexander, the catcher, has to move over to block that one. It will even up the count. We'll be back in a half hour after game 1, assuming that game 2 happens today. With the second game, the 2-2 is upstairs. Make sure to check out Lehigh Softball on Twitter at Lehigh Softball for updates regarding Game 2 and its status. Full count, 2 outs, and popped into right field to end this game is Taylor Hill, who hit the game-winning RBI double. She makes the final out in right field, and Seton Hall, with their 23rd win of the season, will win the first game of this 3-game slate 6-4 over Lehigh. A great game. It went to 11 innings, just a lot of softball, a lot of hits, 24 combined between the two teams, and what a way to start the series.
Well, certainly that was quite a game, a long one, but although Lehigh ended in a loss, they certainly tried their best.
Game 2, that game will begin shortly. They're leaving us the Mount Hospital Leadership Park tomorrow to host Seton Hall in a single game beginning at noon. Once again, we thank you for your attendance. Please remember to buckle up and arrive home safely.
So by what Lehigh's Director of Athletic Communications, Steve Lemongino, who is the PA announcer, just came over and said, by the looks of it, we are going to play the second game today, or at least attempt to. The sun is going to set at around 7 p.m., so we don't know how much of it we'll get through. However, we'll be back in a half hour, me joined by Kanan Benedetto, for more softball from Leadership Park. The final score from Game 1, Seton Hall 6, Lehigh 4.